Yeah, welcome back. I am Pagan MC, and this is Nekopara Volume 1. This is episode 4. It is? Yeah. Trying to think in my head. Yeah, episode 4. We left off last episode. Basically, the two cat girls, Tutla and Vanilla, are basically staying here. We don't really have much of a choice. We're stuck with them. This is like the morning after, and the doorbell has just went. So you can see on screen the tableware seller. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a voice for him or not. I feel a bit like Pyro. I've got like about 3 voices. My voice, a slightly racist voice that I try not to use because it sounds dodgy. And like just a deeper, like a doper, or higher version. I'm with Royal Wood. Thank you very much for your business. I'm here to deliver the tea set that you ordered. I'll bring it into the bakery. I'll see if I can do a Geordie. This should be all the boxes. If everything looks to be in order, could you please sign this invoice? She smiled brightly and brought out the invoice along with the pen. Okay, let's see. I looked over the sales invoice and I received once more. Somehow this doesn't look like what I ordered. Eh? Is that so like? Are you saying that these aren't the correct items? No, the stuff I ordered is in here too, but... I looked over the pile of boxes inside the bakery. Inside of my tiny bakery was a mountain of boxes. A mountain! It was as if the inside of the bakery had come completely made of boxes. As you can see, we don't need this much tableware inside the bakery. I'm sorry, like. I'll check out the main office right away, pet. Could you give me a few moments? Hold on. I'm sorry, pet, for the inconvenience. Because of an error on our part, it seems that another order got mixed up with yours, like. I imagine that you may be in need of these items right away, Mr. Minaduki. So if at all possible, you would be able to accept this order. Accept this order? Huh? From all of this? Yeah, if it's for bloody free, I'm not paying for it. The mountain of cardboard boxes towered over everything. I was at a loss for words. Every box was of equal size. I wouldn't know what was inside of them without opening them up. On top of that, I was looking at the sales invoice. I could see that they all contained expensive tea sets and tableware. If I accepted it all, it would be a lot of work to deal with all the new items. There's still things that need doing in advance of my bakery's open, so I don't mind accepting these. But if it's going to take a while to deal with all of this, of course, bet, I would be more than happy to help you out, like. I have to make it to my next delivery after all. Look, you don't need to put all this pressure on me. From the looks of it, it would take 2 hours or more. But to have it re-delivered would take double the effort too. Little buggers. Stir. 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 Great late. That's right. I have a lifeline. Meow. Meow. What is it? You've really saved me. You've really saved me, cat girls. Thank you. Thank you ever so much, like. Well then, I'll be on my way, pet. I'm exhausted. I glanced at the table where we had finished organising. lowered myself into a chair and relaxed my shoulders. Jiggle jiggle. I can't help say that every time it does it. Master, there's some cold tea. Please enjoy it. Thanks, Chocolate. Don't mind if I do. I downed the cold tea in one gulp. Bloody cold tea. Ah. Hope it's tether. Somehow or another, the light meal tableware had arrived. Soon, I really had to get the bakery ready for its opening. So I did say I needed any help I could find. And I really did need help this time. Stir. Praise me, 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 praise me. Alright, that's Chocolate waiting for it. I could sense the praise me aura coming from Chocolate. She had a wide smile on her face and was in ready stance to receive my approval with jiggly boobs. Thanks. I couldn't have done it without you two. Yay! Vanilla! Master is praising us. Yay! Yahoo.com. Yes, yes, it was worth it. Watching from the shadows, you did well. Chocolate was helpful, right, Master? Right? It's difficult for Master to work alone, after all. Right? Right? Yes, yes. Assistance from a cat girl is definitely effective. If we weren't there, if you weren't here, I imagine you'd still be sorting boxes. Bounce, bounce. Hey, you two are getting a bit too close. They leaned forward towards me for emphasis. Is it true that without you two around, this would have been a real problem? But that's a different issue from the one This is a different issue than the one from before. You have to go back home. Besides, it's not like I could ask you two to work for me or anything, okay? Is that so? Chocolate guesses it's no use then. Her shoulder drooped along with her ease and tail. The enthusiasm she showed earlier had completely disappeared. Aye, little bugger. She sighed deeply and looked disheartened. Since we're here anyways, Chocolate guesses she'll go clean upstairs. So he trudged up to the second floor, still dejected. I mean first floor. So we're on ground floor, then it's first. Yeah, doesn't matter. Dot 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 dot. This dash dash dot. Chocolate isn't an idiot. I knew she was pushing herself to be bright and full of energy. But even so, this wasn't something I was going to easily change my mind about. It was all the more with how much she cared for me. Is it that much of a bother for us to be here, Master? Are we bad cat girls? She spoke quietly in her usual way. Vanilla tilted her head as she asked that question. You two aren't bad cats, and that's why I can't have you stay here. We can't stay even though we aren't bad. We can't stay even though we aren't bad cat girls. I'll never get the proper accents. I'll probably still end up going between different voices. It's because you two are good cat girls that I can't allow it. She blinked as she took in my words. It was almost like she was trying to peer inside of my heart. She stared directly at me, long and hard. Humans are hard to understand. Cat girls do not understand such things. If we like a human, we want to be near them. At the very least, that's how I feel. Vanilla. I will go check on Chocolate. I wish it was that easy. Basically, I like you. I want to be near you. There we go. Done. With these words, she went upstairs. The sound of her small footsteps slowly disappeared, and before long I couldn't hear them anymore. Humans are hard to understand, huh? Inside the bakery, now devoid of anyone but myself, I repeated those words she had just said to me. Now that I think about it, it's a pretty inconsistent way of thinking, isn't it? Cats do not understand that. Having heard that said aloud, I began to understand what it really meant. It must be pretty nice to live the simple life of a cat girl, eh? I pondered as I looked at the name of the bakery affixed to the window. With a bitter smile, I began to clean up the tea set that had arrived earlier. Do.
Nekopara.
Mwah! I broke Master's heart. Oh no, Master's cup, I think that said. Ooh, we're back at the front a bit, near where the stall was. Now I think, when I watched Milby's playthrough, I'm going back to kind of episode 1, he did looking at this. I don't know if he did 1 or 2 episodes, and I believe this is as far as he got. He did that bit, and then that was the end. It was like a look to. I don't think he wanted to repeat of Kato or Shoujo, but that many people had called out for him to do another visual novel. So from now on, I remembered a bit what was going to happen. From now on, I don't have a clue. So we are doing this together, unless you've, of course, already done so much of it. Huh, that Takoyaki Sally isn't here today. Just like yesterday, we took a walk through the park into the evening. However, that food stand was nowhere to be found. It just so happened that no one was home on the day I decided to take the 2 cat girls home. I had also happened to leave the house key behind. So to make good use of time, I went to do some shopping before Shiguri got home. Sorry, Vanilla. What was it called? Catnip. That sounds about right. That isn't the right word at all. Chocolate, if you're tired, why don't we rest a bit? Okay. Maybe a little bit. No, chocolate is fine. Sorry to worry you, Master. There's no need for you to apologise. She had a troubled smile on her face as she nodded. It was pretty clear why she wasn't in good spirits. That's why there was nothing I could really say to her. Well, there happens to be a bench over there, so why don't we rest a bit? In that case, I will go buy something to drink. Thanks. Something for everyone, okay? Understood. Leave it to me. I handed Vanilla some change and offered the bench to Chocolate. Oh, look at a sad face. The constant sea breeze rustled the trees in the park. All that could be heard through the empty park were the quiet sounds of nature. I silently sat down next to the disheartened Chocolate. Like the gently setting sun, time passed by slowly. Chocolate will go home. Her voice was so quiet that I wasn't quite sure if I'd heard her or not. Even so, she answered clearly. Without saying a word, I responded by gently rubbing Chocolate's head. Is it alright if Chocolate calls you sometimes, Master? Yeah. Would it be alright to go visit you as well, Master? Yeah. Master, will you be sure to think about us every day? Is it alright for Chocolate to still call you Master, even if Chocolate is far away from you? Her voice trembled as she frantically wiped away tears. She stifled her sobbing and her voice became strained. She looked pained as she did her best to hold back her emotions, biting her lips. Poor bugger. I held back my irresponsible words that were on the brink of coming out all in my strength. Yeah, of course I will. Master. Chocolate is sorry, Master. I was frustrated at myself for saying nothing. I was empty. I could only offer condolences that could not be put into words. You had, bugger. Just let them stay. I rubbed Chocolate's head as gently as I could. Snaffle, you really are kind, aren't you, Master? I don't really think I'm kind at all. You said the same thing before, didn't you, Master? Before? Chocolate closed her eyes and smiled. Do you remember when Chocolate and Vanilla were taken home by Master and Shigori-chan? Ah, of course, I remember that. It was a cold day half a year ago. Chocolate and Vanilla were huddled together, crying by the side of the road. They were still so young they couldn't even speak yet. It was that day that I embraced their small, cold bodies and took them home with me. That sounds really wrong if you were to take that out of context, like, so incredibly wrong. There was no way I could simply forget that important day when our family grew. In the beginning, you two really couldn't get used to things at home. We were scared back then because we were in an unfamiliar house with people and catgirls we didn't know. You two wouldn't eat at all, which really worried Shiguri. Yes, we really did make her worry. I started to hear a tiny bit of laughter in her voice as we reminisced about the past. Do you remember when Chocolate and Vanilla had a fever too? I definitely do remember that. It was a few days after we brought Chocolate and Vanilla home. At that point, they'd only occasionally drink some water. And as always, they didn't really touch their food. The combination of malnourishment and cold weather had really begun to weaken their bodies. They both developed high fevers and were in pain. No one had realised it that night, but we felt so much pain, anguish and loneliness. We couldn't speak or move our arms or legs at all. All we could do was cry and cry as we kept hoping for someone, anyone, to come save us. And then, it's alright, I'm with you too, so don't worry. With your big warm hands, you gently rubbed our heads, Master. You kept saying, don't worry, as you stayed by our side. And you continued to stroke and comfort both Chocolate and Vanilla. When morning came, you took us to the hospital. You were always by our side. We felt so anxious and helpless. It felt like it was all just lies to us. Back then, you said the same thing. That you didn't think you were being kind. But if Master hadn't saved us, Chocolate and Vanilla wouldn't be here now. Back then, if Master wasn't by our side, we still wouldn't be able to trust anyone. Thanks to Master, we are able to eat again. We were able to become friends with Shigori-chan and everyone else. That's why, from that day forward, Master became Chocolate's Master. It was that day forward that Chocolate began loving her kind master, you know. I wish that her tear-filled eyes would not spill over. Come on, words. Those tears were filled with anxiety, sadness, and happiness. So basically, it's Master's master. She smiled all she could before me. That's why when Chocolate hears that Master won't be around anymore, Chocolate couldn't do anything else but to go with Master. So Chocolate begged Shiguru-chan. She said that with the faintest of smiles, one that seemed as if it would disappear at any moment. Those words were so gentle and warm, but there was almost an undeniable sadness and emptiness mixed in with them. Chocolate. I was the one she was saying all this to. Even so, the only thing I could say back to her was her name. Chocolate guesses catgirls don't really understand it when it comes to money and other complex things. Still, no matter what, Chocolate wants to be by Master's side. When Master is having a tough time or is in trouble, somehow Chocolate just knows. Chocolate just somehow does. Whether it's cleaning, doing the laundry, or cooking, Chocolate would do anything to help. Even if Chocolate can't do it properly right now, Chocolate will absolutely make sure that she'll be able to do things right someday. That's why. God, this voice is killing me. I think it's getting worse and worse. What time are we? Yeah, this episode. We're going to get to this end of this episode. And I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to change Chocolate. My voice, it's too much for me to do. It's getting worse. That's why. Would it be okay to ask for one more favour? Chocolate wants to be with Master. Chocolate voiced her feelings clearly once again, and barely kept her tears from overflowing. Chocolate, if you could be with me. I was engulfed by my inner thoughts which were ready to overflow. What time is it? Should we carry on? I think we're up to about 20 minutes now. We must be close. She yearned for me so earnestly. For her to so innocently believe in me, there should be no reason for me to be against it. That day, Chocolate and Vanilla became an important part of my family. As long as they were with me, the days would be bright and enjoyable. I was simply selfish for just leaving home like that. I didn't want to get my dear family wrapped up in my selfishness, or have them experience any unnecessary hardships because of me. You two are important to me after all. We are catgirls, so we're honest with ourselves. My inner conflict was disrupted by Vanilla. Vanilla had returned at some point, and she looked straight at me as she sat at Chocolate's side. For me, as long as it's fun, as long as it's fun, I am fine being with Chocolate. Even if there are hardships, I think I am fine with being with Chocolate. After all, it's much more lonely and painful when we can't be together. Vanilla. If we really love you, then even if it's troublesome, we want to be with you. This is the reason to want to be with you. Stuff like whether we'd be happy or not, even though you're our master. Don't you think it's wrong for you to decide that? Besides, when a person important to us is in trouble, that's more reason for us to want to be by their side. We don't know what we can do, but in tough times we can at least be by your side to cheer you up. That we can do. It was as if her gentle, warm and soft smile had become the setting sun. Those uncharacteristic words from Vanilla deeply penetrated and seeped into my heart. That is probably why Shiguri let us follow you, Master. Since Shiguri can't go with you, she asked us to go in her stead, Master. That is why, if Master really cares about us, then I believe we should be with you. It was not even the faintest bit of hesitation. They were such honest and absolutely straightforward words. Who am I to dictate chocolate or vanilla's happiness? Come on, end of chapter, please. Only those words continued to strongly resonate in my mind, which was otherwise empty. Even if we lived a worry-free life, we would hate it if Master wasn't around. No matter how difficult, Chocolate wants to be together with Master. That's why Chocolate begs you to allow us to be by your side, Master. This is why Chocolate wants to be. She was on the verge of tears, but Chocolate's face lit up. They were nothing but absolutely pure, genuine words. Crafty. Humans really are at a loss for words when it comes to cat girls, huh? Saying no to their words was not something I could bring myself to do. Oh, did I miss something there? Is that there? Oh no, I thought I'd... Oh, I can't go. Alright. It's like he was going to say something, but... Anyway. Master, does that mean... It won't be like it was back at home. You can't just live here however you like, got it? Yes, that won't be a problem. Chocolate is happy as long as Master is here with her. Well, well, Master has finally surrendered. Sometimes people say they hate what they actually love, right? The dreary moment seemed to be blown away by her dazzling smile. Despite all this talk about family, perhaps I was the one that didn't really believe in it. Thinking about all of this from their perspective, it was very simple. Although I thought I was all still so immature, perhaps cat girls were more human than humans were. When it became to honesty, from here on out, we need to do our best all together. Of course, Chocolate is alright even if we don't have fatty tuna for dinner every night. Just occasionally is good enough. For meat, A4 grade is fine as long as it's Matsuzaka beef. Fatty meat is the best. I don't think they've had an ounce of fat in their lives. Is that all you guys have been eating at home? Even if the road ahead of us is still uncertain, I lovingly rub their heads, disheveling their hair. I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't know how long this is going to go on for. We left them basically at the stage and they've got their own way. So yeah, stay tuned for next episode, where I'm going to figure out a different voice for Chocolate. I can't carry on that. I'll have to look at episode 1 and see how I started off that voice, because talking like this is really hard to do. It's like a really bad I don't want to say Martin Kane. Summit Kane. Sir Michael Kane. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. Yeah. I wonder if I could maybe do that Geordie accent like for Chocolate. So if this was Chocolate now for Cashew, alright. Why don't you head back to the shopping district then? Yeah, I might try that. Anyway, thanks very much guys. I'll see you next episode.